Why do many people not become rich? Their worldview doesn't allow them to. Designer things, you need to feel them. Those who don't feel, they've become a function of earning money. Do you have a choice? Yes, there is a choice. To study poorly or to study well, but you still attend school. You are grateful for this lesson, and you express your intention, how you would like things to be. And all these negatives then become positives.
How do our thoughts, after all, truly shape our future? What kind of thoughts actually form our future? Future events, or perhaps future resources that await us, whether energetic or material?
Every thought shapes the future, every single one. But some thoughts only lead to its destruction. Sometimes it might even seem like I wished for a house, and I got a house. But in the long-term perspective, I didn't get a house, but rather a place where I will die. Well, something like that. So, it's really important to understand what kind of underlying resource is actually driving the results of our thinking. For example, people often take a vision board, hang it up right in front of them, and then they start meditating on everything that's drawn or photographed there. And yes, events can happen, but since they function as algorithms and digital processes, that's what I call them. These visual things are digitized. It creates the effect that a resource is consumed, an event or an item or a purchase takes place, but there's no life within. And you go there, and it takes your life for it to live. So you need, as it is written in the Bible, that words come from thoughts. Yes, they should flow from an overflow of emotions. That is, you have a huge amount of energy, a state, and then you speak, or you do, or you think. And when you try to force something that isn't natural, nothing good will come of it. And you must realize that if we are truly in our purpose, for which we came here, we all have certain programs already laid out for us. This is that state. Do you have a choice? Yes, you have a choice. Whether you study poorly or study well, you still attend school. Well, they might even expel you from that school, but the entire educational program is still available for you there. Well, there's everything you must know in mathematics, in physics, in chemistry, and in natural science. All of this is provided to you there, and it ultimately controls us. And another question is, at the moment when we are in sync with the software, as a general rule, our internal dialogue is always completely switched off. We are like a perpetual, unending, continuous meditation. This is a direct connection to our true purpose. This is a direct connection to the energies themselves. This is a direct connection to those potential probabilistic realities which want to come here and improve us in every single way, starting from our health and ending with our financial situation. But if we are trapped and blocked somewhere in childhood, then when we read a post on Instagram or Facebook about how the rich dress like paupers while the poor try to wear expensive clothes, it's a false impression. Because if a person is rich but dresses like a pauper, actually, he's a pauper in his very soul. And so it means that wealth is destroying our natural environment. For there must be harmony. When we are presented with a work of art, we must possess such a profound sensitivity that we can truly comprehend and experience it. This is its profound capacity, its immense richness. Or, when we build a beautiful house, we need the richness of the inner world for it to be a beautiful and filled house. When we create some designer things, they need to be felt. Those people who don't feel have become a function of making money. That's the difference. They preached about those rich poor people. Because they lack sensitivity, they are functions. I can name a huge number of functional people, like Ford or the creator of IKEA. Or I can make a huge list because people do not have feelings. They just perform functions. It's like a machine that you could say produces a huge amount of dollar bills. It's just wow, but it's merely a machine. It doesn't feel anything. It just prints money on paper with ink. That's all.
Well, in earlier times, this was considered to be a perfectly ordinary and acceptable situation.
Listen, can I interrupt you? In the past, it was quite a usual story. Wars happened all the time. Conflicts, betrayals, destruction, and those who rose to the top were, well, to put it mildly. As someone once wrote to me, "What if I was born clumsy? What will help me?" I said, "Well, surgery, you need a hand transplant." That's why, let's say, clumsy people come to power.
Well, that's
Because
still happening?
we choose clumsy people. And why? We choose based on our energy, on our inner state. And if we lack the capacity, remember, we discussed this point, if we love someone more than they love themselves, and they have no intention of loving themselves, we essentially kill them. It is the murder of another human being. Love kills because it eradicates the absence of self-love and creates a multitude of variations where a person can truly multiply and flourish. But when a person is open, they are loved, and they immediately begin to grow and flourish. There are such options too. So, for example, when some ruler comes and starts changing something, these reforms are met with hostility by many because they are conservatives, they haven't invested energy in development, and they start to criticize those who earn more and live better. And they begin to demand, let's make everyone poor. Not that everyone should be rich, but that everyone should be poor, because wealth requires energy. The energy of perspective, the energy of one's state of being, the energy of feeling. Because if a person is merely a function and you give them something now, they must either close themselves off very strongly, but they still need to maintain it with their own energy, even when they close themselves off. But if, God forbid, it's exposed, it will utterly destroy him. Why don't many people become rich? Their worldview prevents them from doing this, as the flow of thoughts creates opportunities. And I've often seen when a person enters a beautiful place, an expensive place with design, paintings, sculptures, they think, they wasted money here. I would have fed the poor instead. Do you understand the situation? These poor people, they are like cancer cells. If you don't give them love, they will live in a consumer state.
Well, you're talking right now about people who, essentially became expendable material for their ancestral program.
Yes?
And don't have the option of shaping events.
Yes. And do you know how to spot them? It's very easy. Do you want to know? You can walk along the streets and see a person going just like this. That's it. This is a function killing the world, because the world consists of our attention, and it's sustained by that child who from their stroller looks at beautiful cars, at beautiful men, women, at beautiful clouds, at beautiful flowers. And there are very few like that. When I walk down the street, whether in Europe or elsewhere, there are very few people who truly enjoy the world around them. The people, the events, who are engaged in them. They seem encapsulated. Why? They don't have the energy to interact. You know why they are closed? They think through negation. And when he interacts with this tree, this flower, this house through negation, he will kill it, this house, this flower. Because it will elicit a protective reaction, energy, and therefore it is easier for him to close off and see only his feet stepping forward.
Okay, well, let's discuss those individuals who will still be walking along the street and engaging with their environment through their sensory perceptions. What then, in this manner, truly shapes the sensations of the future?
He will rejuvenate these people because it is simply
Brown people
openness
or
to
what?
the world. It's openness to the world.
But does this shape any events in his own life?
Certainly.
Which ones? If thoughts create a certain architecture, a plan, right? Or what exactly shapes the thoughts? What exactly are the sensations?
Look, feelings bring things to life. And what does bring to
Delve.
life mean? It attracts a huge amount of interactions with other probable realities. Look, I'll say it even simpler. What feelings are and what knowledge is. Knowledge is flat information. Feeling is a multitude of energies and information that converged due to their similarity and allowed information to manifest in life. So, how would one define a concentrate? It's as if everything is thinned out, and then suddenly it converges to a single point, and then it forms matter. And so it is essential for us to deeply understand that the sheer volume of knowledge we accumulate gradually transforms into a profound conscious awareness. Then it evolves into a deeper intuitive feeling, and ultimately into the tangible materialization of something that inherently possesses a truly divine and sacred nature. And there is materialization through destruction, in order to extract energy from there and somehow sustain oneself, because the programs are quite unambiguous. Well, as it's been said, right? God, he is multifaceted, while the devil is categorical and unambiguous. And it is when we are so absolute that emotions take hold of us. This means we drag up the past and destroy the present, and then the future as well, of course. And when we are in feeling, we do not touch the past. We have no past. We simultaneously have multiple probabilistic realities that are fueled because well, it's like you want to lift something and it's heavy and you can't lift it. But when you are together, you lift it. That's how feeling works. You are aligning probabilistic realities, and everyone benefits from it. Because either you build an airplane alone, or you build an airplane when there are thousands of you. And then you get a very cool distribution of responsibilities. But each of you gets the opportunity to fly this plane later.
Okay, so when a person experiences emotions, you always used to say that emotions are the past. In doing so, he effectively destroys the past. Is it the good past, the bad past, or the past in its entirety?
So, what's the question here? Well, any emotion, even the one that seems good to us, like joy, is a destruction of the future.
Future. Because...
Yes. And negative emotions are self-destruction. Always. No, we will of course destroy others with these emotions, but primarily ourselves. Therefore, we shouldn't keep them bottled up inside us. If they come, we release them, acknowledge them, state our intention, how we want, and these energies are transformed. So, how does the principle of repentance work in religion? You admit that you lived and felt not as you would have liked. You were lazy, envious, judgmental, betrayed, nervous, and afraid. You confess to this, thank for the lesson, and express your intention as you would like. And all these minuses become pluses. Surprisingly, we can take what was negative for us decades ago and turn it into a positive. Why does repentance lead to recovery? But not all repentance gives healing. Any repentance that is true and real gives relief. However, if there is constructive thinking, as we would like, it leads to healing. But how is religion used? You arrive, you've confessed, and there's no energy left. And just like that, they took it all for themselves. The egregore consumed her. But if you have repented and clearly stated what you truly desired, then and there you truly amplified the entire world,